Welcome to Selenium Training by Wisdom Trainings. Hello everyone. Today in this video we are going to start with the hybrid framework. So let's just get started. Over at the URL zoho.com, let's say I have a test case, and to proceed with the test case I have some steps to be followed. I have to navigate to this URL first, and then I have to log in onto this URL with the proper credentials. Say I have this login link to be clicked first. Then I have to enter the username, click on this next button, enter the password and click on sign in button. Then out of all these options, I need to go to the CRM link over here. After going to the CRM link, this kind of page I will be getting. I need to go to the leads tab, and over here I have to create a lead by clicking on this plus button and entering the credentials, entering the required parameters being asked over here. Like there are 3 parameters which are to be asked, and after that I have to save it and confirm it. Right, these will be the steps that includes the creation of a lead on zoho.com. So if let's just start making a Excel sheet in which I'm going to note down all the steps one by one. So over here in my Excel sheet, in first I'll be making different columns over here. Let's say the first is the test case name itself, that what the test case is going to be. So my test case name, let's say it's create lead. Okay. Then what action I'm going to perform, that will come over here. I'll keep the column name as keyword. So what the first step will be? To open up a browser. Right. Then what browser I need to open? I'll have a data column also over here in which I will be storing the data. What browser I want to open? Let's say Chrome. The second step, again the same test case will be followed. So I'll just will have it over here. The second step will be to navigate to the URL. What URL I need to navigate? I need to provide that particular thing as well. So over here I'll just will insert one more column, and I'll name it as object over here. So the URL that I want to open, I'll keep it in the object column over here, and the URL that I am accessing is zoho.com. Okay. Then after clicking on the zoho.com, what I need to do was to click on the login link. Right. So my step is to click. What I need to click, let's just see. I'll open up the zoho.com. I'll just will log out from here. And this is the login link that I will be clicking on. So I'll just will inspect it, that I'll get the locator for it. Let's say I get the XPath of it. And over here in the object key, that's over here. Right. After that, after clicking on this login link, what I need to do is to type in. The step is to type. Where do I have to type? In this username text box. So I'll have the locator for this as well. It has an ID, it has a name, but I will go with the XPath only. Let's just use the XPaths only over here, and this. Now what actually I want to enter in this text box. That data can be coming over here. So let's say there is some random email right now. For the time being I'm keeping it at some user. We'll update it in some time. Okay. Then again what I need to do is I need to click on this next button. So I'll inspect it. I'll get the XPath of this. And what actually I need to do is to click. Now it doesn't need any data, so the data column will be blank. Then again I have to enter the password. So I'll inspect the password text box. What data I need to enter is the password. So I'll have it over here as some password. And the action I'm taking is type. Okay. Then after, finally I'll click on the sign in button. It also has an ID, but I'll go with the XPaths over here as well. and I am clicking on this. Till the time we have just login into the account. Then after login in, what I need to do is I need to go to the CRM link over here. So I'll just will inspect it and I'll have it in my steps. So again I have click, and this is the locator for my CRM link. I'll go to it. I have to go to this leads tab. Again I have to click. So this is the element, so I'll get the XPath of this, and again I'll click. Right, I'm clicking on it. After clicking on this, I need to add a lead, which will be doing by this plus button. So I'll get it. Again I'm taking the click action. I'll click on this, and then I have to enter the required details. So there are 3 details that I will be requiring. One is this, then I have this, and at the last I have this. So I'll get the XPath and done. Okay, what actually we are going is we are typing in the text boxes. So I'll have the type command over here, right, the type steps, and then after doing this I have to click on the save button, the last step of my test case. So I'll get the XPath and I'll have to click on it. That's it. These are the steps that I require in my create lead part. Okay. To make it little more presentable, let's just change some colors over here. Over here I'm entering some text as well, right? So I will be having some text like company name, first name, then the last name. That's it. Okay, this is done. These are the steps involved in one of my test case to create a lead. The same way I may have the steps for another test case to delete the lead. So for that I know that till this part where I am getting this deal, I'll go back. Till this part I have to repeat the steps, right? So what I can do is I can just go on and I can have till this steps over here, and this will be my another test case, that is delete lead. Okay, and the followed steps will be coming down. So just to make sure that these are 2 different test cases in a single sheet we are keeping, so what we can do is we can just differentiate it by having them in the different colors like I am doing over here, so that I can see that where my first test case is ending. Fine. So this way my sheet is looking presentable over here. Now I have to read this sheet so that these locators that I have used, the URL that I have given, can be picked up and my test case can be proceeded. So I have to make a sheet to read this data. Okay, so let's just make that sheet also. That's a very small logic that you can put for the time. You can do that. So for that you will be requiring a particular package, that is OpenPyXL, that is already covered in the previous videos. You may go and watch those videos for the installation. So I'll just will get it imported over here, OpenPyXL. And to start with, what I need to do is I'll make a class in which I'm going to keep functions like to count the total number of rows, to count the total number of columns, and to read the data. That functions I'll be keeping over here. So I'll name it as read right, and to this function I will be passing the, let's say not over here, to the constructor we'll pass the path. So some initial things I'm doing for the time. This is my workbook, that variable I'll be using, and I need to provide the path of the file, the Excel file that I have given. For the time I'm keeping it none. We'll populate it. We'll populate this variable. We'll use this variable. I'll just will have my constructor over here so that the initial things can be started off. So to this constructor only I will be passing the file path. Whenever the object of this class will be made, the constructor will ask for the path of the Excel file. Okay. Inside this only I'll make the variables VB that I have used and the file path to be global so that I can use them in the whole sheet. Okay. So whatever path I will be getting over here in this constructor, that I'll make it equal to the file path, the global variable. Okay. Now to use the OpenPy Excel file, I have to start and I have to load my workbook in which my data is stored. So for that, I'll just will have the variable VB used and I'll say OpenPy Excel dot load workbook. To this load workbook, I need to provide the path, that which path is actually being used. You can use file path also, you can use path as well. Both is fine, right? This is the constructor. Now I'll make function like get row count, which will count the total number of rows. Okay, so I have to inform the sheet which I'll be using. Okay, so to this VB, I'll pass the sheet name. Whenever this function will be called, the sheet name will be passed, and for that sheet, it will count the total number of rows. So I'll say sheet dot max rows. I have to pass this to my function, and that's done. The same way I'll make another function to count the total number of column. To this also I will be passing the sheet name, and the same thing is going to be done, just that instead of rows it will be counting the columns. Okay, column. And one last function that I'll be making in this particular class is to read the data. Now that's also very simple. The same thing is to be done. Just the function name will be get, let's say get data. Let's say I'll have the name as get data. And to this function I will be passing three things: the sheet name, row index and column index. Fine. So I'll have them sheet name, row index and column index. I have to inform the sheet again, that which sheet name I will be requiring, and at last I will be returning the cell data. So I'll say sheet dot cell the row index and column index that are being passed over here, the value of that dot value. That's it. These are the functions made that I will be using to fetch my data of this sheet, the Excel sheet that we have created. So let's just put the logic for this. I'll specify the sheet name before only so that I don't have to give it number of times. So my sheet name over here is sheet 2. Sheet 2. Okay, just a minute. And then I will be making the object of the class that I have made above, the read-write class. To this read-write class, what I need to pass is the path of my Excel file. So let's just have the path of the Excel file as well. This is the path of my Excel file. slash hybrid dot xlsx, replacing the slashes, and done. Now I'll put a for loop. I'll say for row num in range I'll be starting it from row number 2 because in row number 1 I have my column names given. So I'll start it from 2. You can start it from 1 as well. And it will go till the maximum row count. I need to provide the sheet name. So I'll give the sheet name that will be picked up from this variable +1. And there will be an inner loop also for column number in range starting from column 1 till maximum number of xls dot get column count sheet name plus 1. It will give me the full data, otherwise I might get a skip of data. And over here I just need to call the last function that I have made, xls dot get data. To this data I need to provide the sheet name, the row number that is coming from the counter variable row num, and the column number I need to provide. And I simply will be printing my variable cell data. Okay, so now this is the kind of logic I have put for the time to read my Excel sheet that I have made just in front, right? So over here, I get the data, the whole data. Just for more enhancement of this code, I can print the total number of rows and columns as well, just as to show you. xls dot get row count, and I need to provide the sheet name. The same way I'll print xls dot get column count, the sheet name. Okay, I'll rerun it. So now I get the whole data. There are 24 rows which are there in this sheet now, and there are 4 columns. That is fine, and the data that I'm getting is in this way. First I'm getting the test case name, then the keyword that I have used, then in the object column over here there is nothing, so it's giving me none, and for data it's giving me this, right? This way my data is being read, but this is not the right way we are going to read it, because basically my test case name over here, you can see that in the same sheet I have 2 different test cases given. So over here I have to put a logic in which my test cases, my data will be read according to the test case name. So that if I give only a single test case name, that only data came up, not the whole data in the sheet, because I'm getting delete lead data as well, which I don't require right now, right? So this is first thing that I need to do in my hybrid framework. Fine. Then once it is done, I will be implementing my WebDriver layer, which has not been done till far. I am not using any of the Selenium commands over here, right? So that also I will be requiring. Okay. One more thing over here is that you can see in the Excel sheet, I am giving the locators over here this way. Now suppose at some time this username text box gets the locator updated and it gets changed. So if I have 50 test cases and I am logging in every of the test case, I have to change it 50 times at every occurrence of this locator where I have given. So that is not a right approach. It's not a right approach, right? So my project should be free of hard coding. There should be no hard coding in the project. Otherwise, my project will not be robust and reusable. Reusable is a term which is very important over here, because whichever code I'm writing, like over here you can see this minor code I have written, I cannot write this code a number of times to read the data from my Excel sheet for every test case. I can't do that. I will keep it in a single file and I'll use that again and again. So reusability is also one term. Then I should be able to have the proper data management. You may see over here that the data is not properly managed over here. It's coming like this. This is not how my test case is going to read it. So my data should be properly arranged in a data structure. Whichever data structure that I'll tell you in some time. And then I should be able to generate a proper HTML report in which all the logs, screenshots, wherever they are required, they should be over there in the report. Plus, I should be able to email the end report. Now, if I have 50 test cases or 5,000 test cases, to save the time, I will be running the test cases on grid, right? So, implementation of grid is also important over here in the projects. Then I also have to integrate my code with GitHub and Jenkins, right? So these are some of the objectives that I need to have in my project. Now this was just a sample thing that I have showed you in the project, but I have the real project made over here in which all these things that I have discussed above over here, they all are implemented. One thing more over here, in addition to these objectives, that at some point I should be able to have my validate functions also. Like over here you have seen that I have shown you that after logging in, if I'll just go out and I'll show you again. Suppose over here you are logging on to this account, right? You are trying to log in. Suppose the account is not logged in. You have not logged in over here. Can be any reason, the elements not were interactable, the credentials given were not right. So it might be possible that you logged in or you may not log in. So you should be validating that whether you were able to log in or not. The same way in hybrid framework, we use the application specific keywords as well. Now what these application specific keywords are, and I am not talking about these right now, but I'll show you that how actually they look like. Okay. So these are some of the objectives that I need to cater to when I'm creating the object. Fine. So if I'll just show you a sample project that how it looks like. So over here, these locators that you have seen that I have entered over here, I have not kept it over here. I can't do that, right? I told you why I can do that. So to save them, what we do is we keep them in a properties file. Over here, I have it in my properties file like this. So if any case, any of the element got the locator changed or updated, so I won't have to change it wherever it's occurring. I will just come to this property file, I'll change it over here and it will be applied to my whole project. Right, this is the use of keeping it in the external file. The same way why I am having all these over here, just to make sure that my project read the Excel file and according to these keywords given only, the action keeps on taking. For that, a mechanism is to be applied. I'm not going into that right now. Just telling you that how actually it's going to be. Fine. So over here my locators are. Then this is the function that I have made to read the data in a proper way. Now in this data, what actually is happening, I have the for loop, the same way I was executing in the previous module that I have shown you just before, this way. The same kind of for loop is running, just that I am settling the data in the form. I am settling the column name and the data set below in the form of dictionary. So if I read this sheet, so how will it be coming? This will become the key and this will become the value. In the second pair, keyword will become my key and open browser will become the value. This way the data will be read and it will be stored in a proper list having a number of dictionaries. And whole of this data will be applied on my test case over here. I will be parameterizing my test case as many as data set I have. If I want to run it on Chrome, I have to run it on Firefox with different data set. I can do it. We have already seen what parameterizing of test case is. So my test case will be parameterized by this. Fine. And the keywords that I'm talking about over here, we have made the keywords, right? So all these keywords have a corresponding function made in which the whole process is being done. Like if I'll show you the open browser function. So over here is my open browser function in my keywords package. This is my open browser function. This one. We have made a structure in which a different specific column is there for browser name, and from there the data is being read, and according to that browser name given in the sheet only the browser is going to open. Okay, so it's a huge implementation which needs a proper discussion and information. So that's why it's just an overview. You can just go and watch the hybrid framework videos in the course given. Thank you.